although it was bigger, and so. Well, I think it works. It's staying on my face. I don't have to worry about it. If it's down through here, then there's no, I'm not going to accidentally hit it, which is what I've done with the microphone. If it's a lapel mic, that's always the possibility in that. So how's the sound out there now? Is that?
Well, of course, we're going to factor in the fact that I'm deaf, but I
Okay.
think it needs a little more. So,
Well, let me do this. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to think where I am sound-wise. I think this is about as loud as I'm going to get on any morning. Maybe I should have a handful of people who are out there to say, thumbs up. Not too many, but just a few of you who know well. I think that's good right there. And you may want to check the sanctuary, because here it sounds loud, but I don't know what that's going to sound like when you get further out into the sanctuary. One of the worst places that I've ever gone for sound is the Basilica in St. Louis. The trouble with the Basilica-style churches, right, with the larger they are, the sound just dies in that cavern. The only thing that sounds good in there are bell choirs, because at least you can hear the sound. You can't necessarily differentiate, but it's just noise and melodious that way. So is that a little bit better in the?
I think that sounds good. It maybe is a hair back from where it was week before last.
Okay.
And Bruce, are you getting anything from me? I am. Well, then it is a mystery about why Kyle could not. Because I haven't done a thing.
Walk away from that line.
Okay. From Mark's.
Don't be near that line.
I'm out of range.
Sounds like you're.
Come my way.
But
What's
you're-
that?
Come my way.
Talking to me?
No, Al.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. So I think this is about the same level we had when I used it before, except that Kyle said he wasn't getting even a wiggle on the VUs. Are you getting anything?
Keep talking.
Okay, keeping talking. I'm walking around the floor. By the way, I'm kind of zeroing in on Sennheiser for our next wireless systems. I can't find a close-up of their body packs to see if they have the same 5-second problem that we've got with these, but they are Bluetoothed into the receivers, so you can log into them with your phone if you need to and make adjustments to everything.
Great.
So
Keep talking.
well, what are you seeing? Is it anything at all?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and is it just a low level, or?
It's a little lower than you were on the south podium.
Okay, and in terms of where you want it to be a balanced signal.
Go ahead and turn off your wireless and go to the south podium.
Okay. So here's the south podium, and the wireless is muted. Dear liturgists, please also speak the responses so they may be heard on the recording of the service. Is that where it was before?
Speak like someone a little bit softer.
God of wonder, as we hear your word for us today, fill us with holy imagination. Help us to hear your holy invitation and ignite within us a passion to live for your truth and to follow.
I think you should bump up that side a hair on the podium mic, just a hair. So while you're doing that, Mark, go ahead and tell me about what your sermon's going to be.
So I'm focusing on Sarah and Hagar and Ishmael being kicked out for the second time, finally, and looking at how the problem seems to be Ishmael and Hagar being in the camp when good.
Alan, Mark's wireless needs to be bumped up a little bit to the video feed, but the house is fine for Mark. Both of you are dynamic speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a significant difference between your high and low.
Okay.
And when you pull back, I don't think it would be loud.
Okay.
It would be a Mike Wadsworth complaint.
Got it. Got it. I have been accused of dropping my sentences from time to time since I started.
And Alan too.
Okay.
Particularly since he started wearing a hearing aid. But you're both dramatic speakers, as preachers would be.
Okay, the slider for the feed on this mic is at full volume, at full max. I've got no more to give you. And
Speaking as a soft speaker, or are you?
That was softer.
that's a little bit soft. Something's screwy with my voice today. But I can speak louder.
Yeah, you can. I think that's probably a good setting. Mark, why don't you continue talking?
Okay. What I haven't figured out yet is how I'm going to bring the gospel lesson into it. I think it has something to do with this idea that everybody thinks the problem is Sarah and Ishmael, but the reality is the problem was that Abraham and Sarah tried to take God's promise and monkey with it to begin with. So the problem, as the sermon title goes, is never the problem. Whenever there's a crisis moment, it's usually rooted in bad decisions in our past.
I think we need a dump more in his wireless feed to the video system.
Okay, and how are you reading mine now?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to put this back in its emergency spot.
Got it.
I've been recording this entire session, so if you're interested, you can listen to it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's in an unlisted section, so it won't show up for anybody who subscribes.
Got it. Yeah, we had a double mic at Westminster, and the pulpit mic would pick up if you'd lean into it. And so if I would do something dramatic and lower my voice, I'd make sure to lean real far into it so that it would be lower. But with this, I'll have to think through. I usually have text notes in my writing, right, of what I should be doing, and if I'm pausing or if there's whatever it is. So I will.
I am seeing a bigger difference in the video response going in the house speakers when he goes between his high output and his sort of lower output. It's dropping more on the peak meter than what I'm hearing in the house speakers, or whatever that means. It could be the peak meters are just too literal at measurements.
Not much. There is a buffer of distance between the speakers and you.
True, that is true. Whereas this is direct cable feed from the sound board.
I'm going to do one more thing and bring back out the other EV body pack that we took out of service because the microphone cord.
So what I haven't done is changed this. We have one extra amp adjustment that he figured out that we could use.
Okay.
But the only thing I can do is turn down somebody who's too loud. I can't make them any louder than what the feed I'm getting. So if I had been recording when you were so loud, I would have lowered you down. And that's what Kyle did 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But you were all the way down before on Sunday.
Okay.
And he had it up as high as he could. And again, we talked about that last night. It just was almost really not usable.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
But Connie assured me that the house will do it.
Yeah. No, if I had, because it didn't sound like it was bad.
Right.
Um,
So it wouldn't be a bad idea when you begin talking
yeah.
to look back here at whoever's operating
Okay.
and maybe talk to them ahead of time and just make sure that they are okay. If I had been here, I would have said, if I knew that you had lowered your mic on your
Yeah.
investments, I would have said, put it back up.
Okay.
But we were oblivious and just singing away on the road.
Yeah. Lesson is you can never go singing again. Boom. Right? There you go. Right? Institutionally, how we solve problems, right? Create policies that are ridiculous to deal with problems that we could have dealt with in detail.
This is interesting. I don't hear a thing.
Oh, is that the other EV pack?
Yeah.
There's nothing coming here.
I don't hear anything.
Well, that means
Did you give a reason we're looking for a new wireless system?
Yes, because we're outdated. We're in the pre, whenever the change occurred.
I think from a technology standpoint, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the frequency allocations that got us into trouble.
Yeah.
If it weren't working, if it were intermittent, then it'd be a no-brainer. But the 5-second delay is something
Now what have we got?
We can hear you. I can hear you breathe.
Okay. And it's about balanced.
What's that?
I think, man,
That's a little high, I think, for the house too.
yeah.
Yours. Yeah. I caught myself the first week, I could hear myself breathing at the communion table because I was looking down.
I'm going to send both of you an email with a link to today's test.
Okay. That'll give me a sense of,
Okay, I brought them both back some. What's that look like on the VU? Okay, problem was that this was not on the same channel as the receiver back there. So,
oh,
no, it would not, because I didn't use this one for communion. I used the one that I was just testing again.
It's a little hotter on the video feed, but the house sounds good.
Okay, do you need more? Do you need less on the feed?
A little bit less, but not much.
Okay. Small adjustments. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay.
So your loud is okay, it went right into the yellow and not much more.
Okay. Good. Good. I think we can probably let it go at that.
Okay.
And we will revert to using this one as the second mic for services.
okay.
It just wasn't available this past Communion Sunday.
So we're good here. I just need to watch when I go low for the video feed.
All right, each of you have an email from me
Okay?
with a link to today's unlisted session.
Okay.
So I go ahead and cut this off. I think so. No, we're not gonna make peace with this, unfortunately.
If there is a need for an extra one of those sometime when I'm not here, this lives in the northern Ireland.
Okay.
Our Carrie Jenkins' personal.
Okay.
Mary Jenkins was our organist about 10 years ago, and he since passed away. He doesn't use the organ.
I was gonna say, like, hopefully he's not in that anymore.
No. And the other one I just leave up on the far left edge of the back corner.
Okay.
But it's the most ancient in this.
Okay. I will,
Nice. I woke up this morning about 5 and thought, it was the persecution outside.
well, there's no one that, so I didn't, well, the only commission, or the only group that met was finance, yesterday. So, if you wanted to talk, if you want to take 2 minutes before you leave, we can talk about the things I'm causing trouble with the next couple of weeks, if you want to spend minutes with that. I don't think it's, when I kind of show you what I've been up to, and I'll also show you what I'm up to with practice. So I am listening live. If, Alan, you want to go speak into the podium, and Mark, you want to turn yours on again? Sure.
Do we want to fool with the corded fallback mic?
Sure.
So is this where this would go then? If we ran into trouble, this is where we put this microphone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we could do a talkback sermon, right? I've never done that. I've seen them done well, but I don't know that I have the skill to create something of that sort.
I'm still searching for the skill to preach without a script.
I went 4 years without using anything but like 2 or 3 notes, and it was a great experience, and I might do it again, but that's why I don't mind having the screen up, because I can look at it and still see people.
Yeah. Scott Paul Bonham said that he was addicted to a script until they had a horrible week with deaths of children, and he just had no time, and so he got up and preached without a script and never went back.
You got to be well prepared for something
Yes.
like that, I think. I have probably 3 or 4 sermons if I was asked in the last minute. I'd need about 2 or 3 minutes to be ready, but I could preach. Mostly be a Bible study, but there would still be preaching in it. One of them is the communion passage in 1 Corinthians, when you eat at the table of the Lord's Supper in an unworthy manner, because I like the passage before that explains what an unworthy manner is. And everybody focuses on the unworthy manner, so much so that the Presbyterians, right, created, the Scottish Presbyterians created communion tokens.
Can
Right.
I stop you guys?
Sure.
Yes.
Mark, are you speaking away from your microphone?
I was using this microphone here.
Keep going.
Okay, so that's where I was using from. This one is turned off. So this is the backup mic for the pulpit. So I can keep, but when I was talking, so what you're getting is me facing that microphone. I was headed this way on that. So I haven't yet turned this one on. So that's where we were here. Then that passage before.
All right.
Okay.
I don't think I'm picking up that mic.
This one here.
Yes. It's behind a little bit. I'm watching the live feed, but it's 10 seconds behind. Mark, why don't you just start talking now?
Okay. So what I wanted to tell you about that passage was Paul has noticed that when they got together to eat the Lord's Supper, that the wealthy came and ate their food and got drunk while the poor people sat there and starved. And he was irate and then said, "This is what I told you to do. When you come together, wait for one another.
That is not high enough feed on the video.
So this needs
Okay.
to come up.
It's only about half, so it's probably about minus 40 or minus 35. So I think that's part of the issue. It's good for the house,
But not for the feed.
not for the video feed.
I have a couple of pastor friends who when they preach, carry that microphone like this the whole time. I've never quite got to that stage, but if we needed to, I suppose. But I think it's picking up well in the house.
It is.
So
And
if,
it's bumped up now.
okay,
It's
so he's made those adjustments on that.
It's still not as high as it needs to be.
Okay, so that needs to come up further.
Keep talking.
Okay, so we're going to keep going on that. Now, we got a little loud in the house now. That's starting to come up. Can they do those independently? Again, we're outside my wheelhouse, so I'm not sure here.
They can be controlled.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good now in the house sound. Even if I got loud, it's not pinging off walls.
And that's all there is. In fact, to get that.
Yeah, it's really soft. It's really quiet.
So let me ask a question. If for some reason we had to go to this microphone, would it be better, again, if I bring it to here for the sound on there, does that help a little bit better? I mean, this is a directional mic, so usually if it's on my chin, that's where it should be. Are those sound levels coming in better, or are they still delayed?
Let me do one more.
Okay.
Yes, that's finally good.
Okay, so if we use this, I've got to pick it up and hold it in my hand.
Yes.
Okay.
I really couldn't hear it with my AirPods.
Okay.
I picked it up.
Got it. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I think this is the directional mic, and it should be shot at my chin, so that you're speaking across it. That's the only thing I know when it comes to these. So, I think we're. He said as soon as I picked it up, it's.
You know what? It could be that these are not calibrated well. I mean, I'm listening to my phone to the live YouTube feed, and I can barely hear anything.
Is this better now though when I'm speaking like this? So we're running on a 5-second delay, or no? Sorry.
Like 10, 15.
Okay.
It's more like 15 seconds,
Okay.
but it's hard to, it's really hard to time shift.
Got it.
But what does it do to the VU?
I'm barely hearing when you said 5-second delay. So,
I pulled it away.
I can barely hear it in this.
So if I say 5-second delay this time, is this better?
Yes, it's more than 5 seconds delay, so I may be further behind than what I see here. This is live.
Okay.
This is what I
This Sunday, I'm doing the children's moment. I plan to just stay with the lapel mic. Okay, so most of the people who are using this, I've noticed, have been about here. Joy brings it up a little bit, but this is the sound we're getting out of this one. How are the sound levels on that?
So that's -30. Keep talking.
Okay, so this Sunday I'm going to be prepping the kids for the baptism for the next week. So we'll be talking about baptism and the font and moving it, and talking about getting ready to welcome Teddy into the church and their responsibilities and what does it mean and those kinds of things. So that's kind of where we're going to go with that.
Yeah, it needs to be bumped up.
Okay, yeah, that needs to come up. I felt like Joe could be heard this past week, so there you go. I can start to hear that. That sounds a little better in-house. So when I want a couple of illustrations, I've got a couple of really good pictures. And shifting gears, looks like the rain has finally started. I wonder if we'll get the significant storms they're calling for. Hopefully those go north of us. But it's weird to get notifications both here and from my St. Louis station saying that we're now under a thunderstorm warning. I'm not aware, and no one's at the house, so I had to check in on Dylan for that. So I think we're okay on this one, and most people are not going to bring this up this high. They're going to usually be about here, and then they start to do this. But I think for the most part, people have been pretty good about keeping the sound. So do you still need me to keep going for the feed? Okay.
You need more? Hang on, keep talking.
All right, so we're going to keep talking here, and I suppose it makes sense because most of the time people are going to hold the microphone, talk down, the kids are going to be around them, and that's basically the sound that they were coming. I really thought that imagery, you missed it this week, the thing that Joe did with books and a bag and timing one of the kids. Good.
Okay. Could we hear once more with your wire, please?
All right, so there we are on this one. You would think for a preacher I would have a lot more to say, but I'm used to running with a script. So just coming up with things to talk about as a natural introvert is something that is a bit of a challenge. I once met a comedian who started out working in tech. Are we good? Good, okay.